So Salim, what I'm wondering now is what is the vision? Obviously, there's a war going on, tragedy happening in where you live. There's also unknown, well, not unknown, but more ignored realities like what's happening in Sudan. There's great tragedies in the Middle East, North Africa region. What is the vision for the Middle East, North Africa PRN team moving
Mhm.
forward? What is the hope and the work?
Yes, for us as a team, when we sat together 3 years ago, we analyzed the situation and we asked what is our role, our mission, our vision, and we crystallized that. And several things that came up very, very clearly for us. One important aspect is that status quo, keeping the situation as it is violence, is damaging, and will lead to explosion. And it's
Mm.
painful and unjust. And that's what we saw. I mean, we were not as surprised what happened in Gaza, but we were surprised in the magnitude of it. Uh, but if you keep situation as it is, where there is fundamental aspect of injustice, systematic injustice, it's just a question of time it's going to be explode. So we realized that the reality that we're living, the fact that we are not challenging the communities, government, the church, locally and internationally, in becoming actively involved in peacemaking, we are in a way doing sin.
Hmm.
We are allowing systematic of injustice, abuse of women, uh, discrimination, and what's going on in many countries in the Middle East, especially with the Israeli-Palestinian issues. If we're not going to address it, we are committing sin, because sin is when you see something wrong. Like if I walk in the street and I see a man attacking a woman, and if I don't come for her help, by legal body around the world, you are participating in the crime against this lady. You're sinning. So the fact there is in so many cases of discrimination, injustice, humiliation, depriving people from their basic human right, we are participating. As a result, we need to break it inside of us. In our perception, our understanding, we need to break it, and we need to have the voice of Prophet Jeremiah saying, I am tired of your sacrificial in the temple and your religious songs. I long for justice. But justice in that concern is not just kind of, is justice come holistically
Hmm.
in every aspect of life, what I call reconciling justice, where you are developing a relationship with your neighbors, with your enemy, but at the same time, you're addressing the systematic of injustice, the system that causes injustice. So we have to have those two things together. In order to do that, we embarked on three things very important. One, it was very kind of strong word that our team say we need to develop theology of threat. Jesus was threatening the Roman Empire. Jesus, in his word and action was threatening the temple leadership. Jesus was a threat to what and how we live with others, and he causing people.
Hmm.
He was not like, oh, how nice you are. He's saying, no, if you don't do that, you are doomed. And that's what he told the people of Jerusalem. If you're not going to take that action, we are doomed. So we need to have awakening to our reality, and awakening to the fact that in God, we have the power in order to influence and to engage with the larger society in a way that the larger society and the church and international church will have to address it. So
Hmm.
that's one aspect. Second aspect that the team have decided that we need to, especially the older generation, need to bring the younger upcoming leaders, especially women, to bring it into a program. We will impart to them the vision, the dream, the skill, and what we have learned in the last 30 years in order to move on into the churches, into the community, and into the political arena. Because the crucifixion of Jesus is a political act. Jesus did not form a political party, but Jesus, when we say the kingdom of God, and Jesus is the king, this is a political statement to the Roman Empire, that the Roman Empire
Yes.
and Caesar are not the one. So what does mean kingdom of God in our political, economic, social life that we're living? What is the message that we're bringing? And the third aspect of it is especially trying to encourage as many as possible people that are coming from the larger society. The larger society in the MENA region are Muslim. How we're engaging with Muslims, how are we engaging in Israel-Palestine with Jewish people and other people in that situation? In order to do that, one of the things that the team found out that also we need, and that maybe is not popular, the World Evangelical Alliance leadership to the vacuum that exists in the Middle East and the need to have a new look, a new vision, a new understanding how to be engaged with the new generation of Christian leaders in the MENA region.
So, well, thank you so much for that. Would it be accurate then to say that when we invite, as the Peace and Reconciliation Network, when we invite people to invest financially and prayerfully and relationally in the work of PRN as a network, that they are investing in influencers that are shaping really actually the future
Yeah.
of the witness of the church and the witness to Jesus as Lord?
Yes, and I think I remember very clearly one time when I was taking a group of Muslim and Christian leaders. And most of the Christian thought that the Muslim were asked the question, can you tell me about salvation? How I can be saved? But they came to me and asked the questions, very simple questions that some of us were not ready for it. What Jesus say about war and peace? How should we live with our neighbors? What that's really mean to live with people that have different opinion? Did Jesus address political structure? How, and all those questions, the questions they were asking us are different than what we thought they are going to ask or the answers we're giving to them. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to listen to the people and what are they asking. And they're asking questions about peace, about justice, about reconciliation, and about what it's meant to be spiritual. And for them, spirituality is more than just what did I do or how many times I pray. It is how I treat the least one of their community and others. So
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the big questions. So the people that we were in the that we work in the PRN are people that are coming from the larger society. The future of the church in the MENA region is the majority Muslim. And that is something that we need to understand. And they are not typically, majority of them are not asking question about, with all due respect, the first step in order to get to heaven. They're asking here and now how I live. Who is my neighbor? How should I treat them? How should we live in multi-ethnic, multi-religious situation? What we do with when we have, like many places in the MENA region, but not only, with a corrupt political system. What we do? What should we do about it? And we have a message that also talk about non-violent. The main teaching of Jesus is non-violent approach in order to bring change.
Mm.
The main message of Jesus is grassroots movement up because people in position and privilege usually, even so they know it's right to change, they don't. They need to be challenged. They need to feel it. They need to change. But if we use violence, we find ourselves in a cycle of revenge and retaliation. And there are many movements in the MENA region of non-violence that brought changes, Christian and non-Christians, that you don't hear about it in the news because there's no bombs, there's no blood. And sadly, and as a result, that doesn't draw the attention major media. But there are many movement among women, among young people, nonviolent, including Sudan previously, that brought changes. And so here you're investing in something for the kingdom that if it is going to change the MENA regions, that will bring a change for the world altogether. Imagine the billions of dollars the world is investing in the war in Ukraine and the Middle East. If all this money go to education, just or health, or the welfare of people, and we need to understand that. And we're not asking for one airplane that's worth $100 million or a bomb or missile that several millions. Should just compare the investment in war that lead to a war compared to how little we are investing in peace and reconciliation. My challenge to you today, to everybody, is where you put your time, effort, and investment and money, this is where your heart. If we're serious about the kingdom of God and peace and reconciliation, are we investing in it?
Thank you, Salim, for that very important challenge. So friends, if you're listening, what you have the opportunity to do when you invest in the work of the Peace and Reconciliation Network and this Middle East North Africa team, you are investing in the development and the planting and the flourishing of what Jesus promised, that he gives life abundant, life to the full. That's not just in the future. It's how do we see, how will we invest in the transformation of and the restoration of the dignity of the human story and God's creation. And thank you, Salim, for what you're doing to lead that in the Middle East and North Africa.
Yes, I think Jesus came to free us from any form of oppression. But also there's very, very important aspect. Christian theology asks the question, how my theology, my behavior, my action is a blessing to my neighbors, and many times are my enemy. That is our test.
Thank you for inspiring us, Salim. Thank you for equipping us. And now, friends, you can be connected to this great work that God is doing.